birthday, Scorpio. Welcome to your November 2018 RuneScope with me. My name is Amanda. This month, in conjunction with our runes, I will be using the adorable Paulina Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Then as always, be sure to join me over on my Vimeo channel for part 2 of your November reading. I will be pulling and interpreting one card from the Viking cards by Gudrun Bergman and Oliver Gudlagsson for your extra wisdom and advice for how to handle the energies you may be encountering during the month of November. It kind of ties up the whole reading here as far as how best to handle it. So definitely check that out over there. So let's jump in and see first which runes want to be cast for Scorpio, November 2018. It's rather quick. As always, keep in mind, Scorpio, these are general readings, so not all of these messages will apply to you. Some are going to apply to the other Scorpios that are watching. They have to get their messages too. You can check out the video for your rising sign as well. Some months you may find that those readings actually resonate more than your sun sign reading will. But if you would like something far more specific, and your birthday month is a great time to do that because it is the start of your personal new year. It's a great time to get a personal reading, and that way I can connect with just your energy. And we can see what is going on with you specifically for your birthday. So just drop me a line at runescopes4u@gmail.com. That's the number 4 and the letter U if you would like to set up an appointment, and we can take a look at your specific situation and what the specific advice is for you. Okay, what do we got going on? Challenge your focus, that's where we start. Well, we do have the Hanged Man. So, this is sometimes having to make a decision, and it could be like kind of a wait and see. And what's coming up is that there could be like an interview or a job offer. For some of you, it could have to do with going to a different school, academics, an opportunity within a university or an academic institution. It could involve also public speaking, teaching. So yeah, there could also be like an element of travel or relocation associated with this with Rido. And it could be conflicting with maybe something, maybe it's conflicting with the holidays, right? We do have here in the States Thanksgiving in November, or maybe it's conflicting with your birthday celebration, which kind of sucks, Scorpio. Like, finally get a birthday celebration, and now I got a job offer, and I can't celebrate me. I got to go interview for this job. For some of you, it could be kind of after the interview that you're kind of, on the fence about something. Like, I have to make a decision, but I'm not sure, like, what decision to make. I'm not really sure which way I want to go on this. It could also be for some of you taking a side. Like, I need to take a side on this, or I feel like these want to go over here. You could also be waiting to hear back from somebody else who's making the decision, right? And you're like in suspense. It's like waiting. And your challenge is waiting. Your challenge is, for some of you, your challenge is deciding if you're going to travel for this interview, or if you're going to move for this job. So it seems like a big decision is on the table in November here, Scorpio. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that there are some, maybe just in the moment, some issues you have to kind of contend with about scheduling or deciding if you want to do this, if this is the right thing for you to do. In the present energy, we do have the Three of Wands. I gotta kind of lean up really close so you can see the cards. So yeah, the Three of Wands in the present, for some of you, this will be whenever you're watching this video. For others of you, this could be end of October into early November. That this card is, this energy is coming up. Well, let me see what we got here. Three of Wands is about, you know, you've sent your stuff out. You know, kind of going back to this, like you've sent in your resume, you've sent in your work, you've showed them your portfolio, you've done the interview, and now you're waiting to hear back if you got the job, or you're waiting to get started, or Wunyo is here though. So I do feel like that many of you are feeling very joyful and happy about this. So it's well starred. I really feel like many of you think that this is either you're getting word in the present that, you know, this is, you've got the job, or you will be hearing back that you've got the job. But there's still something that needs to be completed, or there's still some details that need to be worked out, and that may be where things get a little bit sticky. Maybe it's negotiating salary or something. But yeah, with Tyr, it's like there's joy, but it comes with this, there's something about it you don't want to do. So maybe there's something about the job, Scorpio, that you're like, oh God, I really am excited about this job opportunity, or I really want to take this, but I really don't like this one aspect of this. I really don't. That's a responsibility I don't want to do. I don't want to have to move there. I'm kind of trying to see, I think for some of you, I feel like this is known from the get-go. And I mean, you know, maybe you just kind of gloss over it, but it does seem like they're upfront about it. For others of you, it could be that, you know, they're like, oh, by the way, we would need you to come into the office. Maybe you thought this was going to be a remote job, and they're like, oh, but we would need you to come into the office a few times a week, or we would need you to do some public speaking or some training. Maybe that's it with Ansu's here, because it was coming up over here by the Hanged Man. Yeah, there may be some aspect of it where you would have to do something you haven't done as much, or that you're not as comfortable with. A lot of people are not thrilled about public speaking. Maybe they don't want to, you know, maybe that's it. But I feel like this has to do with maybe a lack of self-confidence here, Scorpio. Some of you, I think, are just maybe intimidated by the responsibilities coming up with this here, Scorpio. And some of you may turn it down. I feel like some of you will take it, you'll go ahead with it. Others of you are going to turn it down. We'll talk about why here in a minute. But or maybe because of the way you react to that, you could miss out on the job. So, okay, my best advice from just seeing what I'm seeing here, Scorpio, is even if you're a little bit unsure about a certain aspect of the job, I would still be very enthusiastic about it. Don't mention, I mean, you can ask questions about it, but make sure that you're not asking them with a negative bent or with any sort of negativity inferred. You know, you can of course seek more information and ask about it. And, you know, so I noticed on the job description, definitely reread the job description if this is something you applied to online, or, you know, submitted your stuff that way, because I feel like they are, like, all of those duties really are duties you're going to have to perform, you know. And if it is like a remote situation, make sure that it is. Maybe you're just assuming here, Scorpio. So, so yeah, in the interview, just make sure you're like, so is my understanding correct that this is a remote position, or, you know, that sort of thing. And for many of you, maybe that completely knocks it out of the running. You'll just have to kind of gauge. But I think this is one you're really excited about with Wunyo. Like, this is a perfect fit for many of you. So the help that's going to be available, we do have the Four of Swords. So you will have time to retreat and think about this with the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords. So you will have time to take a minute and give them your decision. And kind of research your own thoughts, your own feelings about something, and decide, like, you know, is this what I want to do? Is this something I really want to go for? Can I do this? Like, can I do this aspect of the job that I'm really not super excited about? Pedro is here, indicating there is some sort of spiritual reason that this opportunity has come up when it has. I think for many of you, if it makes you nervous, you should absolutely do it. I mean, you know, that's not the case every time, but normally, you know, when we feel challenged in some area or get a little bit of anxiety thinking about doing something, or a little bit nervous about something, we're absolutely supposed to go forward with that and do that. For others of you, I think that, you know, you could just be given a chance to take a little break with the Four of Swords unexpectedly. So maybe you're going to be able to add on a few days there to the Thanksgiving holiday if you're in the States, or you may just be taking a vacation between jobs, you know, or you may just be like, you know, okay, those of you that are working but looking to change jobs, you may just be like, okay, I need to take a little break. I need to think about this. So I'm going to take some vacation days here and really kind of see, you know, get some rest, but then also get my bearings and decide what I want to do about this. What must be accepted? We do have the Four of Cups in reverse. So this is narrowing down a decision, an offer that is exciting to you. Okay, in the upright, it's kind of boring. It's kind of an offer being made, but we're not really enthusiastic about it. This is one, I feel like this could really change your life here, Scorpio. But it would totally cause you to have to close the door on the way you've been living in some way, or where you have been living in some way. And this is karmic. This is a karmic opportunity for many of you. This is a karmic change. And again, it's involving move or travel. So, or communications in some way. Again, public speaking, teaching, training. But I mean, it just the thought of it really excites you. But what I'm seeing in the outcome here, Scorpio, is that many of you may just be too intimidated by the fear, and you may turn this down, or you may kind of betray your fears or anxiety, or kind of ask some negative things during the interview and cause them to pass you by. I do feel like there's a lot of competition for this position, as you know, what's new. Pretty much any job has a ton of competition these days, because we've got more college graduates, right, than we have jobs. So I keep that in mind. It's like, if you won't do it, or if you're not cool with it, there's a lot of people who are. Really make sure it's something you can't do, or won't do, or don't want, Scorpio. But I do feel like those of you that, if there is a defeat, here's the thing. If there is a defeat, if you miss out on something, because this is the Six of Rods here in reverse. So that is like, yeah, missing out, not getting the victory. You know, you're defeated, or they pick someone else. If that happens, though, it's because you are repeating a pattern. Or it's because, yeah, you're letting an anxiety or a fear or something that has blocked you or kept you from getting something. Maybe it's also asking for a more than reasonable salary. Let them throw a number at you first, in this case. And I don't normally say that, but I would in this case with so many people kind of clamoring for it. Try, if you can, to not talk about salary until you know you're down to, you know, like they're offering Okay, and you know, they really try to get you to talk about that as early as possible, but if you can hold off on that, yeah, I would try to get them to give you a number first. And then, you know, I rarely say that, but I'm being guided to say that here, and I think it's because there's so much competition here. And then you can come back with, you know, it's not that you can't kind of be like, well, would you be willing to go up to this? Would you be willing to go up to this? It's a little bit closer to what, you know, I would be comfortable with or able to survive on, especially if there's travel involved. But I mean, again, that may come with, that may be part of what they're kind of taken off for. It's like, you know, we pay for all the travel in the hotels, or we pay for, you know, that when you're speaking, or so yeah, I feel like for most of you that you do want this, but you could kind of let a fear or a block or some pattern, something that's repeating, cause you to miss out on this. And you know, I don't want you to do that to yourself, Scorpio. Now, others of you, this situation could be totally unrelated. Because the rune of divorce is here. So maybe this is like you're losing in some kind of battle with that, or you are, but maybe this just keeps coming up. Maybe your ex keeps taking you to court for more child support, or, you know, something like that, or you know, it keeps repeating with this person you've kind of broken off with, this pattern, and it's draining you and making you feel like they always get the win. But I feel like for most of you, this is job. We have a very job-centric energy here. Yeah. And something that makes you nervous, but that would bring you ultimate joy. So, you know, really, really think on this, Scorpio. You know, if you try it and you hate it, you don't ever have to stay with the job. I mean, you know, if you are signing some sort of contract, just, you know, maybe that's something you can negotiate and be like, hey, I'm going to try this. Can we cut the time to 1 year? Because, I mean, you know, anybody can do anything for a year, right? It's not that long. So, give it a shot, because what I think most of you are going to find is this is exactly what I've been put here to do. I'm so glad that I took this, or I'm so glad that I you know, I now have the life that I want. Don't kind of, you know, take yourself out of the running for something when you don't have to. Just because you're nervous, or just because, you know, there's some sort of pattern of behavior that's been blocking you, or kind of like cheating you out of a victory, cheating you out of a win. So that's what I see here, Scorpio. This is very much, your reading is very open-ended in November. This does not, you can change this. None of this is set in stone. You can always change any reading. That's what they're for. It's to give you foresight and knowledge and be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fail. I'm not gonna let that happen to me. I am going full steam ahead, and I'm gonna change that. So yeah, turn this around. Turn this around. If it makes you nervous, that's the right job. Because it is kind of like, I'm nervous, but God, I want that. I want that life, or I want that status. I want that title. I want to work for this company, right? Because I think last month you also got like a big offer coming in for October. You may want to rewatch October, because when I post these for November, we're still going to be in October. I really think that they are, either some of you are going through something in October, getting the job, and others of you are, the rest of you are maybe getting the job in November. But I feel like for many of you, it's carry through energy. So yeah, watch and rewatch October and November, because I feel like the answer's in here for you, Scorpio. Like how you can get this in the bag and be on to your ultimate dream, and kind of end any financial difficulties, or end just this dissatisfaction with career. And that would be the best birthday. for sure. But as always, like I said, however this is coming down for you, I'm going to get a much clearer picture in a private session. I'm happy to do that for you. Happy birthday once again, Scorpio. Meet me over on Vimeo now. I am going to pull and interpret a Viking card for you. See how they tie this all together with what the best advice is for you. So meet me over there. That link again is below. And I'll see you back here next month. Thanks for watching.